Andrew George Scott, better known to history as the bushranger Captain Moonlite, is not much better known to history as that. He was not one of the A-list bushrangers. He's of interest to us mostly because of his romantic attachment to his young companion, James Nesbitt. Scott and Nesbitt met here at Pentridge Jail in the 1870s when they were both serving time, and they clearly became quite attached to each other. Scott decided that bushranging was the life for him, and Nesbitt decided to join him, along with two other young men that they knew. This was not a glorious success. Within a couple of months, they had made their way to New South Wales, but they were broke, they were hungry, and they were desperate. They came eventually to a station called Wantabadgery, and here, inevitably, the police caught up with them, and there was a shootout. It was a disaster for the bushrangers, and in the end, Nesbitt was killed. The remarkable thing is that, as newspaper reports said at the time,
he wept like a child, laid his head upon his breast, and kissed him passionately.
Moonlite survived the shootout, but he was arrested, charged, convicted, and condemned to death. He spent his last days in prison in Sydney, wearing a lock of Nesbitt's hair as a ring around his finger, and writing letters to family and friends and supporters, in which he discussed, amongst other things, his attachment to Nesbitt, describing him,
"My own dearest Jim. We were united in every tie that could bind human friendship. We were one in hopes, one in heart and soul, and this unity lasted till he died in my arms."
Far from fearing his imminent execution, Moonlite seemed to look forward to it.
"I long to join him where there shall be no more parting."
Moonlite pleaded with the authorities to let him be buried with his young friend, writing to them, expressing that wish, and designing a headstone for their common grave, which he wanted inscribed,
"This stone covers the remains of two friends."
The authorities, of course, were having none of that, and the two of them were in fact buried in separate cemeteries, separated by hundreds of miles. That is until 1995, when a group of Moonlite enthusiasts set out and succeeded in persuading the authorities to allow them to disinter Scott, Captain Moonlite, and to rebury him at Gundagai North Cemetery, which was where Nesbitt was buried.